Let's see where they'll start here in Heat 2B. Here are your lane assignments with Graham Trucking on the inside, the Silver Dollar Miss Rock in lane 2, followed by the Nicole Marie Yacht Charters in lane 3. There's the Alberto in 4, the Trent West in 5, and the Fairweather Interstate Batteries outside in lane 6. As we are approaching the 3-minute mark, the boat's on the water. There's the city in the background, a beautiful view. Here are your drivers. First, the Fairweather boat. That's got Doug Brow at the controls. Mike?
Well, he won from the outside in lane 5 last time by just being very judicious about the clock. He's going to be in lane 6 this time. He's going to have to outrun some folks.
Greg England, what's the Pitts situation and how's the crew handling that first win?
Well, they're very happy about it. In fact, Doug was very proud of that clock start. He says that's what won the race, and he's very confident that he can time it and win this race at the start again.
Well, let's see if the timing works for Terry Troxell this time. A second-place finish, Chip.
He nearly blew over in the first heat. Keep your eye on him.
Guard, that boat did get a little bit loose.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Terry Troxell, the driver, just about 3 minutes ago before he got into the cockpit. I asked him about that. I said, hey, man, you got to quit catching so much air. He goes, oh, it's no big deal. He's really worried about lane 5. Lane 5 not good right now for the Trent West, but when I did talk to him about catching all that air and he said it didn't bother him, a lot of the guys in the crew said it scared the hell out of us. That's what he said. So anyway, they're ready to go racing.
As one would expect. Steve David in the old boy Alberto, and they've done a pretty good job, Mike, in keeping this boat together.
They have indeed. He got a 3rd place first time out. I think that he has these guys fairly well figured for this one. I think he likes his position right in the middle of the starting line, and if the boat is holding together and he likes the field, watch him charge.
Hey, Bill, one thing about Steve David, he is one confident driver.
That's right, and as he walked out here, he said the boat ran great in that first heat after having all that work. If just the driver could do his job. He was joking about that. He all but guaranteed me he'd get 1st or 2nd in this heat if the driver does his job.
Fred Leland's got his U100, the Nichols Marie Yacht Charters, running well, and Chip Hanauer, one of your favorite young drivers, J.W. Myers, did well his first time out.
I think he's got a great future ahead of him, but he blew the start in the first heat. He's got to redeem himself right now.
Then comes the Silver Dollar Casino boat. That's Dr. Ken Muscatel.
And Lake Washington's not going to dry up today. There's no question about that. Muscatel's going to have to show us something here. He hasn't had a particularly good week so far.
And finally, the U19 boat, Jerry Hale at the controls of the Miss Graham Trucking.
Boy, you know, he really had a hard time getting started. The boat hasn't been quick all week. He's got his work cut out for him.
I think he's having a tough time getting started right now as we're looking out at the Graham Trucking boat. Let's see if they can get some fire going in that boat. Meantime,
he's out of luck because the 1-minute gun is fired.
All right, then let's get ready to go racing with Mike Fitzsimmons.
They come up to establish the arc here at about 28 seconds. Chip, a little early, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so. You really don't want to be in there before, about 23, 24 seconds.
And before you gentlemen continue, let us wish Lori Shavlik good luck from Monroe, the Shucks Auto Supply $1 Million Challenge.
All right, off the arc, the boats start to line up. They're in pre-assigned lanes, of course. They know where they have to be. J.W. Myers has a pretty good position in that 2 lane. If he can get his timing down on this one, he could be a serious factor in this heat. And it looks like we're going to be okay. Yes, it's a fair start. It appears everybody's across the line just fine. Now, as they rocket down into that first corner, boat ride becomes an issue. And right at the moment, everybody seems to be getting through there all right. Just enough. J.W. leaves that inside lane, Chip, but he's going to be real tight with the... he's very, very tight, as a matter of fact, coming out of that corner. I don't know if he got too close. Do you think?
I couldn't see from my angle, Mike, but he got a great start. But again, the field as a whole got sloppy starts. They were all over the place.
Ken Muscatel led him through the first turn, but now J.W. Myers establishes the lead on the outside in that blue and white boat, reminiscent, of course, of the Pico that Chip drove. But right away, though, it looks like Ken Muscatel's got some speed. Oh, he goes to the inside of the race course. That'll do it in for Ken.
Ooh,
he just got himself too tight in the corner.
I don't know, Mike. J.W. didn't give him a lot of room there. Let's hope he gave him at least a lane and 15 feet. But look at this race, Mike.
If he did not, say goodbye to J.W. because he'll go an extra lap. We got 3 boats charging, and that's the Trent West, the orange and white boat, trying to get in there to catch the blue and white, which is J.W. in the Nicole Marine. And if he didn't leave enough lane, he may be down an extra lap as it happens because of the rule book. But up the backstretch now, he still holds the physical lead, and he is still holding off the Trent West, but barely. You've got a very, very hard charge coming on from the Trend West right now, and I hope that boat's stable enough to be able to sustain speed like this. And you also got Steve David up there.
The rule is you have to leave the guy on the inside his lane plus 15 feet, and I think it's going to be very close. But JW, remember, this is his 3rd heat ever. He's doing a great job.
On the outside, it is challenging, of course, the Oh Boy Oberto, Stephen David, and outside of him, Terry Troxell trying to catch up in the Trend West in 3rd position. Cross the line for the 2nd time around now, and it is Nicole Marine out front. And getting a little bit high on the front end as it goes into that corner.
I tell you what, Mike, I really, really like this kid. I think he's got a great background. I think he's got the skills, and I think he's showing it right now.
And if he didn't make a rookie mistake there by not leaving enough room, he may possibly run away with this 2nd heat, the 2nd stanza. And Steve David's right where he wants to be. Now, he's not going to push him too much harder, I don't think, at this point, Chip. I think he'd be satisfied to stay there, especially when he knows there could be a violation and he could have the win.
He would. You know what JW is? He's the kind of guy that takes a boat that has never been competitive and somehow makes it come alive. And it's kind of an intangible. What it is in a driver that can take an uncompetitive boat and make it competitive. And I think JW might be one of those kind of drivers.
JW should be seeing a white flag, and it's up for him. So he is legal, it would appear. I don't think they're going to call anything on this one. White flag also for the Oh Boy Oberto. And white flag for the Trend West, which is also getting so loose. Right in that same place where she did in her earlier heat. J.W. Myers out front with the white flag showing as he crossed the 3rd lap this time. That means he's got one more to go. That means he's still legal.
You know, there's an encroachment on the U-25,
right.
I believe.
Ken Muscatel's built the Silver Dollar Casino Miss Rock, so he's going to have a 1-lap penalty.
And what encroachment means, it means actually the opposite. He actually encroached on JW. So JW is going to win his first unlimited heat of what I think is going to be a pretty great career.
All right, and he's coming down to claim the checkered flag for the first time. No, he's going to get a white. He's going to get a white. Or there may be some confusion. No, it's a white. He gets a white flag. No, now he gets a checker. The checker is going to go out for the Oh Boy Oberto. The white went out for JW, it looks like. They just changed out late. Checker also for the Trend West. I think that the Oberto is your winner, and I think that Steve David was figuring that all along. He thought that possibly there was going to be a penalty. It looks like JW is still trying to get around the race course fast, so one would have to presume that that there was some confusion there with the flag folk, but they did have a white and a checker up at the same time. They pulled it.
So apparently J-Dub did just not give Ken Muscatel enough room, which is exactly what we called when it happened, and it's too bad because he's a guy that's showing great skills. I mean, I see really great skills, but he's making mistakes.
Now Muscatel's getting a white also, but you already explained the reason for that. He had an encroachment, so he'll have to go around one more time. Now let's see if they display a checker this time for JW. Yes, there it comes. So the checker comes out for JW now. Unfortunately, he ran first physically, but he is running behind a lap down. But he learned something that time, Chip.
Well, and Mike, let me ask the question. When is it that that driver actually knows he's going to have to make an additional lap? When is he told about a penalty?
If his radio guy is on the ball, probably the first lap. But if he's on the ball. If not, they may not know it. And the only other time he'd physically know by the markers on the course is when he comes down expecting to get the white flag and doesn't get a checker flag rather and gets a white.
Actually, the better question is, when does his radio guy know? Because as soon as the radio guy gets it, J-Double have it immediately. But sometimes his radio man might not get it until, heck, sometimes even after the heat ends.
But it did appear just from the way he was driving, Chip, that Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto understood what was going on up there and just sat where he was because he either had a first or a second guaranteed, and it turns out it's a first.
And when we kind of saw it, but I think his owners in this sport are watching JW. I think what they see is a lot of talent that's kind of a diamond in the rough, so to speak. You know, he's showing the skills, but he just doesn't have the experience or discipline to not make these kind of mistakes.
Well, the Oh Boy Oberto unofficially is our winner. And again, Steve David at the controls. That's also the citizens of Madison, Indiana, who own that boat.
Okay, let's go back there. Just look at JW right here. He's just not giving Ken Muscatel enough room there. Ken Muscatel, he started in, they came out, and now look at this buoy here. There's hardly any room at all for Ken. It's closing, it's closing. Now JW opens it back up again and gives him a lane, but he moved over there too close to him, not giving him fair room. Now here comes JW moving in close to him again, getting closer, getting closer. There's not 15 feet between them there. There's your call.
No, clearly not.
So we almost had a little rubbing and a little racing going on, but as far as that boat, which has had a lot of problems since coming over to Seattle, throwing the prop, tearing the bottom out of the boat, repairing it, getting it back on the water, and Steve David comes away unofficially with a win here in Heat 2B. Mike, that's got to make that whole Oh Boy Oberto team ever so happy. Oh, it certainly does. On the weekend when of course, you had the induction of Art Oberto into the Hall of Fame. Now his boat is up on points. They did a fast repair. They've done everything right, and they're looking very strong as they head toward the final heat. They're starting to score. And you know, let's give a little bit of credit too, Chip, to Joe Little and the Bud folks who allowed the Oberto team to use the shop, get out there, do whatever repairs they needed to make to get that boat back in here to be competitive.
The Bud team is known for that. They're known for having the most money and the most of everything, but they also are the most generous. And I remember when I was racing cars in Portland, we needed a shop, and where do you think we went? That's right, the Budweiser shop.
So here are your unofficial results in Heat 2B with the Oh Boy Oberto finishing first. There's the Trend West, Terry Troxel second, JW third, followed by the Nickel Marie Yachts, the Silver Dollar Casino Miss Rock, and the Graham Trucking, which had a DNF last time, comes up the same way this time. Greg England's in the pits. Greg.
JW just jumped off the boat, and when did you know or find out that you had a lap penalty there?
Well, I didn't know for sure. The radios are working, but there's just a little bit of beeping, and you know, it's a little tough to hear what's going on, no matter how clear the radios are. You know, you're getting shaken around in there. Kind of like, I kind of refer it to being real similar to being inside the paint shaker down at Home Depot for a while. It's pretty rough.
That can't be comfortable. It got a little rough there in that corner with Ken Muscatel. Do you think you encroached on him a little bit?
Well, I can't deny it. I got pretty tight to him, but you know, I don't think he had to change his lane or anything. And you know, we have to keep 15 feet, but you know, I'll talk to the doctor and you know, see if he's upset with me. I hope not, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be driving this. He gave me my first ride.
Well, third heat, you're learning, though. It looks like you're learning and improving. That's what's important.
Yeah, and I didn't jump the gun, so all right, Chip, you got that. I didn't jump the gun.
Not bad, not bad. JW learning. Chip, how about that?
Well, I think he's learning. You know, actually, the encroachment when I saw it on tape did not look as bad as it did when I saw it from here. And I think if I was the official, I probably would have given him a good scolding and maybe whacked him with a $100 fine, which would put JW in a lot of trouble.
Well, let's check out. We've talked to JW now, and let's talk to Terry Troxel down there, picking up a second place for the Trend West. Guard?
Yeah, Trend West is becoming the trendsetter for second place finishes. And man, you really got to like the way you guys have been doing.
Yeah, it's, you know, new boat and all this stuff. Ronnie Brown's doing a great job. We're still a little loose, as you noticed, and, you know, we got to tighten it up a little bit more. So we'll just keep tightening until we get. By the final heat, we ought to be great.
Yeah, what is the deal with that? Everybody on the dock is going, oh, my gosh, look at that. You guys are really getting squirrely.
I'm a show-off.
Especially right here before turn one.
No, it just, you know, it's a light boat. It was built to be very light on the water, and Seattle is not really our water, and so it's just a matter of getting the boat dialed in so it runs on it. It runs over the stuff fine until I hit one that's really big. Then I want to get the boat up in the air. So we'll just keep working on it. Give you some guys to shoot, you know. Trend West wanted us to put the name on the bottom, though, because they say you sit more.
You got that right. We've seen it a couple of times. So you certainly like your chances because you think you can fine-tune and really get ready for the upcoming races.
Oh, I do. You know, I'm all my confidence in the world in Ron Brown. So
all right,
we're going to go after it.
Good luck, Terry.
Thank you.
Bill Rocky is in the Oberto pits because the boat hasn't even arrived yet. They're having to tow it back to the pier, but they've still got to win. Bill?
That's right, Steve. I'm with Charlie Grooms, the crew chief, and you guys put in a lot of hours the last couple of days. It's kind of nice to win a heat.
It's great. It's great to win a heat. The Oberto people and the Budweiser people both helped us a lot this weekend, and we're extremely fortunate and tickled to death to be here. It's looks to be a great weekend for us and for all the fans. It's a great day.
Steve, though, he couldn't finish the deal here. He conked out about 100 yards off the dock here.
Well, I told him to shut it off because we were getting a little smoke out of the back of it, and he said, well, okay, we'll just get a tow in. So he was really unaware. We kind of got screwed up on the penalty thing. I didn't realize that we had actually won the heat till well after it was over with, so I guess that was my fault. I should have told him just to bring it on in so we could talk to you guys.
How tough was the last couple days for you?
It's been really terrible, especially for me. I came down on Friday with a kidney stone. I've been not only fighting this thing with the with 2 straight days of work, but I've also taken some pills to deal with the kidney stone. So it's been really tough on me and our crew. But Alberto's fed us good. They've been there to support us, and we're just tickled to death. Glad to be a part of this thing.
All right, thanks for joining us, Charlie. And Steve will be with us here in just a second.
All right, well, we'll get back to that. My God, you talk about a weekend from hell, kidney stones and a torn-up transom. I don't know what's worse.
Well, sitting up here with you is a little bit
Thanks.
like having
Well, thanks a lot.
Just kidding.
Here are your unofficial results from Heat 2B. Take a look. We've got them for you someplace. I'm promising you. I also hear. There we go. Oh boy, Alberto, Trent West, Fairweather, Nicole Marie, Yacht Charters, Miss Rock. These are the unofficial results, and of course, Graham Trucking. And I can hear in the background, Steve David is actually talking with our Bill Rocky. So should we go ahead and chat with Bill? Let's go ahead and see if Steve David's ready. Bill?
I think he's ready to go. Your Heat went faster and coming in 100 yards out here. What happened?
I just found out. I was too excited. Remember how to shut the thing off. I pulled the key out of the ignition.
Hey, you lived up to your promise. You said you guaranteed first or second if you got a good start.
I had to do it. With the help Alberto gave us to rebuild this thing since Friday when we blew it up, and the Budweiser guys, man, that was a win for everybody that helped us. It really was.
Right. We talked to Charlie about that. And, couple tough days, it's a nice reward to win a Heat.
Well, it really is a team effort. This sport is one huge team, and then you throw in the fans and everybody else with it. It's got to be just the neatest thing on earth.
And the driver did his job this time.
This time the driver did his job. More Alberto beef jerky, man. I love it.
All right, Steve. A lot of smiles down here, Steve.